was 9 years old, going on 10, so I really knew why I wanted to join church. I wanted the Lord to love me, so I thought I should get baptized, and He would have His arms all around me. So I couldn't get baptized here at Paradise because they did not have the baptistry ready. Well, at first he was always speaking of hell and damnation. And I figured if I get baptized and give my life to the Lord, I wouldn't go near hell or damnation. So Paradise had about 12 steps, maybe more. And every Sunday morning before Sunday school, we would all line up at the bottom of the steps to march up the steps singing Onward Christian Soldier.
Wow.
I was a young person. We would come back up the same steps to the main church, the main sanctuary, to hear the main message. We lived in a 3-room house, but we were so happy because we were members of this wonderful, beautiful church. At Christmas time, the Wileys would receive all their gifts or toys or whatever they had at the church. I thought Santa Claus brought them their toys. After Christmas, they would take all their things home. And I was wondering, I asked my mother once, why didn't he bring them by our house? And she told me that she forgot to give him the address.
Happy anniversary, Paradise Baptist Church. I am who I am because of the church I grew up in. The church I grew up in, a song by Tasha Cobbs Leonard. Even though the lyrics describe a little white church, we were nothing but. We had a lot of love, but the sentiments of the song just mean so much to me as I think about Paradise, where my father served over 20 years. Growing up as a PK, my sister and I, Jan, we were never forced to attend any church service, not even my mom. We went because our friends were there and we had such a good time. My fondest memory, though, is that Lord's Supper is unmatched. With Floyd Wiley or Pat Mitchell on that organ playing, you could almost feel the nails going into the hands of Jesus. And Elmer Davis singing Calvary. Surely he died on Calvary. Oh, and the trips to Oklahoma City where we would turn it out, preaching and singing. Such fond memories that I have of Paradise. One day I called him to pick me up. They were fighting and rioting and it was just a mess. So he came to pick me up. I was outside waiting along with my friends, Annette Griffin, Laverne Griffin, sometimes Marsha Harris, and anybody who could pilot my daddy's car. He would be at our rescue and take us home. Well, this day after he dropped everybody off, when people got out the car, he looked at me and said, "Listen, Pat, stop calling me on my job. I am working. Do not call me anymore on my job unless you are sick." That's how dedicated he was to his calling. As we always have done for the past 113 years, we cared about people. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. And congratulations on 113 years.
At Paradise, I was known as Jan. I was 8 years old and in the 3rd grade when my dad was called as pastor. My dad was an innovator, visionary, and civil rights activist, and a bit ahead of his time in many ways. And he believed in transparency. One of the first things I remember about Paradise was that every Sunday they would talk about opening the doors of the church. I couldn't figure out why they kept talking about it since it was summer and the doors were already opened. Daddy took the time and explained exactly what that meant. The newly built paradise was really something special. The sanctuary did not have any windows, just a beautiful stained glass window that was behind the pulpit that looked like a ship. There were controls for the lights and everything, a phone so that the ushers could contact Daddy if necessary. There were even pews for the children. Paradise was actively involved in local, state, and national Baptist conventions. There were many activities for children and youth, and we met weekly. Children on Saturdays and youth on Thursday. We had all kinds of programs: Easter, Christmas, Mother's Day, and Father's Day. We had plays and we went bowling at the Black Bowling Alley. We even went roller skating. The highlight of summer was going to church camp at Falls Creek. We made friends with other Christian youth from around the state and rededicated our lives to Jesus every summer, all while singing, "I have decided to follow Jesus." One of the most beautiful times of worship for me was when we had the Lord's Supper. It was held on the first Sunday of the month at 7 p.m. The congregation sat on every other pew. The deacons wore their black suits and white gloves and served the people. The crosses were illuminated while beautiful organ music was playing in the background. Daddy allowed us to be normal children and made it clear to the members of the church that being pastor was his calling and not ours. It was an honor to be his child. We celebrate today with joy and gratitude, for we are truly standing on the shoulders of others. Congratulations to each and every one of you. May God continue to bless this church with years of growth, grace, and greatness in His name.
I must have been about 7 or 8. My dad was a servant, so just the whole idea of servitude and just serving the people. Oh, he had a great spirit. He loved to sing, he loved to pray, he loved to worship. He loved his flock. He loved everybody in the church. Oh, yeah, he would always call people for birthday wishes. That's one thing I loved about him, because like nowadays the new school ministers, they have a team of people that help them minister. But he and his deacons, they went to the nursing homes. They visited people, the sick and the shut in. He took meals to people. He was a true servant. His worship and his praise was for real. You know, he was always thinking and trying to prepare his family. So that's one thing that I loved about him and miss dearly. I used to just love the musicals. I used to love the revivals. And I also love Vacation Bible School. My friends at school would be like, "Girl, you love church so much, you always in church." But I loved it. I loved church. I even loved going to the funerals, as crazy as that may sound. And Daddy kind of had to cut me off from that because I'm crying. He's like, "Baby, you didn't even know them people." But I'm like, it's just so sad. And then he explained to me, no, it's not sad when they pass on. Is we are rejoicing their lives. So he taught me so much, and I'm just so grateful. It has changed a lot, but one thing that I really loved about the church was the pipe organ, how Pat used to make that organ talk. Oh my God. And then the stained glass in the sanctuary. I used to just gaze at that stained glass and be like, "Oh, that is just so beautiful." So in the outside grounds, and I love the little play area where we had the merry-go-round. I really love that. So, and I love fellowshipping with my friends, like Joan Belton in the top choir, and um, um, what was his name, Floyd Wiley and Pat. I just love the whole idea of praise and worship and getting together. It was just the highlight of my week. I am so grateful for my upbringing in the church. I don't know what I would do without it. He helped build the old church, literally physically helped build it with the other men in the church. And to me, that was just so awesome, to be able to build like Uncle Johnny. They used their hands. They were men that knew how to build things and keep things together. And I miss, what was her name, Miss Stewart. We went to see Miss Stewart when she was in the nursing home. Pat and Jan picked me up and we went to see her. Mine was still sharp. She had a Bible. She was reading her scriptures. And the card that we took her, she read it about 20 times. And we just reminisced about the old days. And that's something that a lot of children nowadays don't have. And I think they need that. And I'm grateful for it. The highlight gospel singers, and I'm so grateful that he was tech savvy and the men in that group were tech savvy because they posted their videos on YouTube. So when I get to missing my daddy and wanting to see my daddy, I can flip on YouTube and see his face, hear his voice, hear him singing, and that just blesses my heart. I miss Miss Ragsdale. Miss Ragsdale used to cook breakfast for the church. I just miss the old elders in the church, and um, Miss English and Miss Mays. They gave tirelessly of their time to pour into the children, and I'm just so grateful for that. I'm really grateful for my upbringing and my spiritual foundation. You can't beat that.
When we came, it was 1998, so I was 8 years old. I would say the aspects of the ministry that he loves the most is probably just teaching. Like, he enjoys his study time and just teaching the word. And I would say that that's what he is known for also, just teaching. His consistency to the ministry, his consistency to the word and studying and preaching. The most memorable are probably like just events that we used to have. Like, I used to love summer camp and just coming to church and seeing all my friends and just having summer camps at the church, and then our church dinners anytime, whether we're outside for a picnic or inside. So yeah. When I first attended the church, I was like, man, this church is so big. Just coming from where we came from, this is a huge church.